It was September, and things were quiet, as they usually are here. But when they're not, I find out why. I am a private dick, as they call it. However, Dick is not my name. Most people can't pronounce my real name, so for the last 5 years, I've been known as the Tuesday Night Kid. Tuesday was the only night I never took on a case. Instead, I looked at the films of a woman who had taken a floundering detective agency and made it the best agency ever. Her name was Maddie Hayes. After watching those films, I'd write letters to her. It was our way of corresponding with each other. These films would feature the beautiful former fashion model, some of her employees, and her crazy partner, David Addison. From the day they saw their first case, they made the headlines. I had doubts about Addison, however. He had trouble keeping his mind on his work. Now, Maddie's great to look at, but, well, enough of that. Anyway, the two apparently didn't always get along with each other. Word got out, and it was all over the scandal sheets. I never did believe all those stories, but then I found it hard to believe that anyone would have trouble getting along with Maddie Hayes. You see, I had fallen in love with the lady. Eventually, she and Addison got closer, and at one point they got as close as a couple can get without saying I do. Some things happened later that changed things. Maddie got pregnant. Unfortunately, she lost the baby. All of a sudden, the film started coming on Sunday. Now, that was okay with me, but I saw no reason for the change. Maybe it was because Blue Moon was having expense problems. They lost money and clients. Maybe they never got over the loss of the baby. I'm not sure. But anyway, on May 14 of this year, they were evicted from the building, and the office has been empty ever since. After that day, there were no more films. Instead, she sent pictures of herself. And I must admit, I like getting these pictures, even though some of them had David on them. I think she was hoping I wouldn't blame him for what happened to Blue Moon. I don't care about blaming anyone now. I just miss seeing her on those films. Eventually, I didn't hear from her at all. Then one day, I opened my mailbox, and inside was a copy of that cheap rag that said all the bad things about Maddie and David. This one said that Maddie was hiding out in small towns. I could understand her wanting to avoid this kind of press, but it said that she was near Altoona, Wisconsin, the place where I live. Now, I was worried about her before, but I was more worried now. Even though I don't believe the rags, I had to give this some thought. I didn't send for this paper, so why was it in my mailbox? Then it hit me. Maybe Maddie is in town somewhere and she sent this thing, hoping I'd go look for her. I read inside that the company had evicted her and Addison and was offering $5,000 as a reward. I didn't know why, but even though I needed the money, I was more interested in meeting Maddie. Maybe I'd get to tell her how I feel about her. Maybe we could get Blue Moon back in business. I just wanted to make things better. So I got in my car and I went looking for her. I checked out empty houses in different parts of town, figuring she'd want total privacy. But she was nowhere to be found. The places were just empty. I had no luck finding her at all. I just didn't know what else to do. I felt like I had reached a dead end. I got tired of driving around in circles, so I went home to think. I had to decide what I was going to do next. When I got home, there was a piece of paper on my front door. I had no idea what it could possibly be. I kept thinking, well, Maybe it was a clue. Maybe somebody had just come by to visit and left me a note. But I wasn't sure what it was, so I decided I'd better find out. When I unfolded it, it turned out that it was a note from Maddie. It said, "There's a place in this town. You know where it is. Meet me there. Please hurry. I haven't got much time." And it was signed, Maddie. Now I was scared. Was she on the run from some crooks? Former employees who went nuts? Was it Addison? No matter who or what it was, I intended to find out and help her. I was gonna save Maddie. I went to the place. It was open land, the type of place people wouldn't look for someone hiding. Once out of my car, I went looking for her, but I still couldn't find her anywhere. I looked all over the place, no sign of her or anyone else. I didn't know what to do. It was getting very frustrating, and I was getting very worried. I continued to look for her, and then I noticed something. I got closer to it. I wasn't sure what it was until I got closer, but I thought, well, I gotta find out what it is. Then I saw it. It was a picture of Maddie. It was a black and white one. It reminded me of the film in which she and Addison tried to solve that 40-year-old case. That was a black and white film. I picked up the picture. It was a great picture. On the back of the picture was another note. I didn't know who it was from, and I was so nervous that not only did I drop the picture, but I had trouble unfolding the note. I had to find out who wrote this. It turned out to be a letter from Maddie. It said, "I'm sorry, but I couldn't stay. I took a job in Texas, and I had to leave for Texas immediately. You'll find out later how things went for me. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. No matter where I go, I'll always have something to do there, and people to meet and work with." It was starting to get difficult to read this letter, but I continued to read it anyway. "Who knows," it said. "Maybe if it's meant to be, you'll be one of those people. I know how you feel about me. If we ever do meet each other, the result will be a lasting friendship at the very least. Meanwhile, I'll be thinking of you, and I know you'll be thinking of me." It was signed, Maddie. As I read those last few lines, I kind of wondered what would happen next. Would I really see her again? And I noticed there were some stains on the paper, which kind of made me think it was difficult for her to say what she said in this note. Even though I didn't get to see her, it was comforting to know that she was okay. I could go on with my own life knowing that she was safe, and had found something to keep her mind off of losing Blue Moon. Yet, after reading the last few lines she wrote, I had to wonder if she could fall in love with me. I know I'm not the kind of guy women dream of, but so what? It would be worth finding out. But how could I find out now? More than I ever did before, I missed her. I really missed Maddie Hayes. I just stood there, I looked at that picture, and then I also took one more look at the note. And even though it was doubtful as to whether or not I'd ever see her again, I knew I had some kind of memories of her that I could think about in the future. But I knew it was never going to be the same.